Hey, how's it going again, class? It's Mr. Miles coming at you with another podcast. So today we're going to be learning about my best friend, the fun guy. Get it? No, it's actually supposed to be an I. The fun guy. So today we're going to be talking about the characteristics of fungi, the role of fungi in nature, in its ecosystem. And so if you're following along, page we're on is page 66. All right. So let's get started, huh? So the first thing we're going to look at fungi is, again, remember, so our top domain is going to split into three. You have bacteria, you have archaea, and you have the eukaryotes, because remember these guys are prokaryotes. So we go down the eukaryotes, we come across, we go across the eukaryotes, we're going to run into, oh my goodness, I'm blanking out, sorry, plants, animals. We're also going to talk about protists, which we talked about last time, and then fungus. So this is what we're focusing on today. So, all right, let's get started. So we're dealing with fungus. We have to understand they do not do photosynthesis. These guys are heterotrophs, and that means that they are different feeders, and they have to get their food somewhere else. Well, how exactly do they do that? Fungus will actually get food by breaking it down and absorbing it. They use it through absorption. And the way that they do this is they have these little structures called hyphae. So when you're looking, oh my goodness, what is this doing? It's hating me right now. So if you're looking at a fungus, so let's look at like the stalk fungus. We see like you have the mushroom cap, you have the stalk right here. Made up of this are very tightly packed little fibers, and these fibers are called hyphae, or hyphae. Or I just said the exact same thing, hyphae. You get them all together, and they're these really thin little fibers that tightly pack together, and they make up the fungus. And you're normally not going to see that because they are very closely packed. And let's say here's the ground. These things will spread out kind of like a root system, and the hyphae will spread out. And with some funguses, you'll actually see the hyphae will come back up, and they'll actually make a new mushroom. So a lot of times when you're seeing fungus, they're all the same. They're all the same together. Unlike plants, where usually they're separate. With fungus, you can see the hyphae will go underground and come back up, making them pretty big. Now, how exactly do they obtain food? Well, what they'll do is, the fungus like to grow on dead things. So here's, let's draw dead. Let's make it a bug, because nobody likes bugs. So here's a dead bug. Yeah, so there's our bug. The fungus actually grow on it, and they actually release chemicals that actually break down whatever they're eating. So whether it's a bug or it's a leaf or anything like that, they actually release chemicals, and it breaks this down, and they can go through and they can absorb whatever the dead things that they're getting. So, all right, cool. Now, that's exactly how they're eating. Now, how do they reproduce? One of the ways they can reproduce is something called a fruiting body. What a fruiting body is, sometimes you'll get a fungus that's growing like this, and they actually start to have an outgrowth of another one. And it grows, and it grows, and it grows. And out comes this growth. Oh, actually, sorry, I misspoke. I'm talking about budding, not fruiting bodies. So ignore that. So right now we're talking about budding. And so it grows, and then it actually can create a new fungus. And so this is kind of like that asexual reproduction that we were talking about. We're going to get an exact clone because it's got to take 100% of the DNA from this first parent and transfer it over to the offspring. So that's when you're going to have budding. You're going to see this a lot in yeast cells. So in yeast is where you see this budding, but other fungus can do it. The other thing with fungus is with fruiting bodies is you can also get hyphae that connect to one another. So let's say you have a fungus right here, connects with another one right here, and they create something called a fruiting body, and that's how they can create new fungus. So this would be like sexual reproduction, this would be asexual over there. Now, classification of fungus. We're going to get different types. The one that we're most familiar with is we're going to be really familiar with the club fungus. So the three types you can get the club fungus, sac fungus, and the zygote fungi. And these are different funguses according to how they reproduce. We don't really have to go too deep into this. Just again, with fungus, the only thing I really absolutely care about is know that they can do sexual and asexual. Know that know that they don't do photosynthesis. These guys are heterotrophs, and they actually have to use different chemicals to break down their food so that the way they can absorb it. Now the last thing about fungus that we're going to want to talk about is what's the role of fungus in nature. You can get recycling in nature. You can get it working with food. You can get it when it fights disease. And you can also get where it actually causes disease. So you can get two types here. So you can get ones that cure disease, one that causes disease. And so for this one, if you want to read more on it, it's on page 70. Again, with recycling, we saw how fungus can break down dead organic materials, and it'll actually use it and it can recycle it back into the environment. If you're looking here on page 70, you can see that one of the big things for anybody who likes bread, you need to use that yeast so you can actually make bread rise. For the disease-fighting ones, they also found penicillin. Oh my gosh, penicillium is the fungus, but they use penicillium to make penicillin, which actually fights off bacteria. And you can also get ones that can cause diseases, whether it's in humans. And one of those fun ones is if you get ringworm or if you get athlete's foot. Those are some gross ones that some of you might be familiar with. But a really bad one is where when they attack when they attack crops, and you can get certain ones that will wipe out entire corn or wheat stalks. In America, we had a lot of trees. It's Dutch elm disease killed millions of trees. And so again, it can be really good with recycling, with making food, with fighting disease, but also can be a cause of disease in different organisms. So, all right, so that's fungus. Again, if you have any questions about that, please contact me. Otherwise, I'll talk to you next time. All right, bye.